respected. But there are 2-3 things which kind of, the complexity of the sector prevent people from understanding. One is that competency build-up takes time, right? And once companies have built up certain competencies, it's only then that they are able to monetize and commercialize the competencies that they have built. And we in the market at times are either ahead of the curve or behind the curve in terms of what's happening on the ground and what the lead and lag times can be in terms of commercialization of these successes. See, in 2015, the thesis was fairly simple.
Sorry, Anmol.
If you look at top 4 Indian...
Anmol, I just want to pause for a minute. You make a very important point that in the pharma sector, unlike other businesses, the competency, if you set up a cement plant, it is up and running in 2 years. But in a pharma sector, the competencies take a long time to build. Even a normal plant, US FDA plant takes 3, 4, 5 years to get product approved. It's a very important point that it takes time to build competencies. Hence, there are huge entry barriers to this sector.
Absolutely.
Is that the right thing to conclude? So this
Absolutely.
is one of the key takeaways.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So competency build-up takes time, and then to deliver on that in terms of profitability, there is another journey. We in the market tend to kind of, are either ahead of the curve or behind the curve in being able to recognize this. In 2015, the thesis was fairly simple. So if you looked at top 4 companies and the multiples they were getting, the US revenues they had, the implied growth that they had to deliver in next 3 years was a product launch calendar in excess of $3 billion. And this is just for top 4 companies. And when we did our bottom-up math, we were very clear that this is not going to happen. If you have stocks trading at 30x, US top line is 2 billion, 1.5 billion, there is an inherent growth which is implied in the earnings multiple or any other valuation metric from which you look at these companies. We were quite convinced that it is not going to happen. The ask rate for these companies to deliver was too high. So similarly, if you went back around 9 months back or 12 months back and became extremely, took a fresh look and used the same parameters to look at the sector, what you would discover is that, the ask rate for these companies to surprise on the upside is very limited. There is a period of 4 or 5 years which has passed. These companies have invested meaningfully in R&D pipelines, competency build up, tried to evolve their game. And therefore, what the market or the valuations are expecting for them is fairly modest. And given the quality that these companies have exhibited through the cycle, that shouldn't be very hard for them to achieve. So that became, the construct for turning that, look, a lot of price damage is done. And, you are looking at now probably the next leg of evolution of Indian pharmaceutical industry, where these guys have done all the hard work required for 3-4 years and are obviously as a part of their evolution, ready to move to the next stage.
So what is the kind of...
Anmol, I'll pause you for a minute. Varinder, this is a very important point.
Yes.
He mentioned the ask rate in 2014-15 had become very unsustainable, and ask rate now has a potential to surprise in the upside, and the ask rate is not very high at this point of time. Again, I'm pausing and making sure that the people get relevant input to think about the pharma sector going forward. And I repeat again, it should not be an entertainment session. So this is again key takeaways.
So Anmol, one thing I just want to ask you. So what is the kind of ask rate right now? You said CapEx has happened in the last 4-5 years and the ask rate is low. Last time it was $3 billion you mentioned in 2015. At present?
So, this $3 billion was a number for top 4 companies. You'll have to do it for next sector. But there are 2 things that I highlight. So one of the banes of the sector for the last 3-4 years is, you would have heard this, is pricing erosion, right? So pricing erosion in the US, if you look at 15 years data, and I'm not, which should cover around 3 cycles. If you look at 15 years data, the median number for that is 7%. So now if your median number is 7%, then you would obviously have a range which is like 4 to 11%. And that's the range for last 15 years. What happened for the Indian pharma sector was that when the pricing erosion was 4%, you also had, a dollar which was appreciating or rupee which was depreciating. And when you had 11%, you also had a couple of years, 15, 16, when you actually in your Indian rupee appreciated against the dollar by 3-4%. So a range of 4 to 11% from an Indian company's top line reported perspective started looking like -1-2% to 15-16%. So that was how wide the range was. Of course, there were industry specific factors, like there was buyer consolidation in the US, they had more leverage, etc. But I think clearly now the needle is swinging to the other side. You know, at this point of time, you know, the evidence is largely anecdotal, but we'll see that strengthen in the days to come. That you know, courtesy your rupee depreciation and some kind of stability in the US market, the pricing in the US or the challenge for the Indian companies is stabilizing. So they will obviously launch products. Their FDA plants have come through. And even, you know, 10-12%, given relative to where valuation and market expectations are, should be able to drive positive surprises. So that is what it is looking like at this point in time.